Hi everyone. Thank you for coming back to my day 8 of my holiday special at my kids think I'm cool but.com. I forgot my own podcast name. It's late here, but I am still trying to get through my advent calendar special because I am going to be doing 25 days of different internationals living abroad and how they celebrate Christmas in their home country and also how they celebrate Christmas in the new country that they're living in, mostly in Denmark, because that's where I am from right now, or living right now currently. And today we'll be speaking to Emma, and she is from Mexico, and she's been living in Denmark for a little bit, 10 years, right?
Yes, 10 years
Yeah,
exactly. It's going to be 11 the 1st of
11.
January.
Wow, so
So,
you're pro at Danish then.
no, not really,
Not
but
really, but you can get by.
oh yeah, yeah. Copenhagener. Yeah, in
Okay.
Copenhagen. That's
Okay,
the way
yeah.
I
So
am
you
from
can
Copenhagen.
you can get by with yeah, bit of
Most of
Danish
the
but
things, yes.
mostly English.
Yeah, 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 obviously. But yeah, now I speak Danish and yeah, it's I'm quite integrated, I could say, but
Yeah.
very Mexican still.
You still have the Mexican traditions and stuff you miss from home, obviously, that you
Yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah. And I speak Spanish here in home because my husband also speaks Spanish, even when he's a Dane. But we speak Spanish here in home, so that is also very nice to get the kids a double culture, really, not only
Yeah.
with on one side, but so bicultural kids. So that's
Yeah.
really cool.
That's
Yeah,
really
that's
cool. And also Spanish is such a useful language. Like,
it is. That's why I'm trying to convince my oldest son about it. That is
yeah.
like, it's a language of the world, you know.
Yeah, it is. Definitely
So
is. I was trying to learn Spanish at one point because I thought it was a nice language, and also you can get there's more options for jobs in the world with Spanish, I think.
yeah, well, with any other second language, would you have the chance? So it's always nice to learn languages. I think.
Yeah, definitely. But Emma will be joining us to speak about the tradition of Christmas in Mexico. And this will be a really great episode. And I'm excited to share with the listeners how Mexico actually celebrates Christmas. I know probably every Mexican family is different, but it's kind of the whole, um, yeah, just kind of
Yeah,
what you
I was
celebrated.
going to say that because
Yeah,
it's something I have learned that sometimes I have to say, well, in my family,
yeah,
that's the way we do it, and also because Mexico is a big country
yeah, that's true.
with very different ethnicities as well. So it's very different. I celebrate. I am from Puebla, that is just next to Mexico City.
Yeah.
So that we call it the center of the country. But it's very different how it's being celebrated in the north, for example, that has more contact with the US,
Yeah.
and then it's very different from the people that lives really in the south. Or I am living, as I said, Puebla, Mexico City is very high, so it's cold. So
Yeah.
for us, Christmas is cold, but my brother lives in Cancun, so
Yeah,
it's
it's warm.
beach and sun and it's warm, and he feel like, it doesn't feel like Christmas really, we have very different way to celebrate. But I'm going to talk about what it could be, what the majority of people do more in the center of the country, and I
Yeah.
think there are a lot of things that maybe we share,
Yeah.
but that's the way it is. So
Yeah, definitely. And this is why I kind of created this podcast, because I wanted to know the different ways people, not just internationals, but just people that celebrate Christmas, because it's all different and different in their own different way. They twist it in a way that it's like, oh, it's my own tradition. And you probably have your own traditions mixed in with Danish traditions and then back home traditions. So it's just kind of a different way of celebrating Christmas now.
yeah, absolutely. Well, this year is a weird year, right?
Yeah.
But but generally, the way that we do it is like in Mexico, we celebrate. We begin the season, to say something, for Christmas celebration, the 16th of December. December 16th is
Mhm.
like the first day because it's 9 days before the Christmas, no, for the
Okay.
So that is like the 9 days in the Catholic Church. This with the 9 days for everything is important. It's like Catholic Church love this with 9 days for things. So 9 days before Christmas, this is December 16th, we started, and then what traditionally is done is called Las Posadas.
Okay.
And what we do there is that very typically a family organizes a little party where they invite the neighbors or the cousins and things like that, and make a little party where maybe they just serve sandwiches and hot chocolate or something like that. And it has to be one of these parties every day until you arrive to the 24th of December. So of course the same family cannot take all these 9 parties, so that's why it's like one day it's one person, another day is another person, and things like that, go around. There's families that they get organized to do it all in the family, one day with one, the next one with the cousin, and the next one with the aunt. And there are just people that I am going to make one, and let's see if I get invited to another one. No?
Okay.
And this posadas is very fun. It's much for kids, really. I mean, and then it's in the evenings, very typical. It's very much in the evenings. And what is very, very traditional there is that we have, how do you call this? The whole set of Mary, Joseph, baby Jesus.
Oh, why am I blanking right now?
You are the English native, so you must know.
I know, I'm just blanking on, it starts with N, the nativity.
The nativity set.
Yeah, the nativity.
Yeah, a nativity set.
Yeah.
So, and people get those figures, and then they go around with them in the street, and we have a selected like kind of a songs that you can get anywhere. It's the same song for everybody, to ask to have a place where to stay. And it is because when the Spanish arrived and colonized Mexico, and they came with the story of Jesus and Mary, they wanted to of course, give it to this Jesus word, no? Yeah. And then the indigenous people from Mexico couldn't understand that a king that was going to be born couldn't have a place where to stay. And then the Spanish took that like, oh, so why don't we invite them to stay at your house?
Okay.
And that was a way of, Christianize people with a little bit of this method.
Yeah.
To take, to invite them into your house. So the people take the nativity set and they go around the street with this song. And then when they arrive to the house, some people go inside the house, some people go outside the house, and they begin to sing this song that is a dialogue between the person inside and the people outside. That is Joseph saying, please, I am coming here, it's cold, I would like to go in, my wife is pregnant, and we don't have any place where to stay. And the other one inside say, no, maybe you are a thief or someone, I'm not going to open the door, I won't do that. And the other person, please, I'm going to have a kid, and he's going to be the king of the world, and oh, I recognize you, you are Joseph and Mary, and Jesus is coming. And then you open the doors, people come in, and they begin to sing a very like welcoming song to the house. And then you put baby Jesus, like if it was a baby, singing to sleep, and then put him on your house and saying welcome. That is the most important, and that is what posada means. Like you host someone, you give them, a little bit of your warmth of your house. And that's what it means. And that is the most important part of that party. I mean, if you are invited to a posada, that's what you are supposed to do, not only go to the party.
Yeah.
And after that, you can also have a piñata. Now the piñatas are used in children's birthday parties and things like that. But now the original was for Christmas.
Oh, okay.
And it has to be in the shape of a star.
Okay.
And it has to have 7 peaks. And each peak represents the capital sin. And when you are breaking the piñata, means that you are breaking with the sin and you are having the good things in life.
Ah.
And the original piñatas were with fruit inside. My husband, because he's Dane, he laughs so much when I say with the seasonal fruit, and he's like, seasonal fruit? Yes, in Mexico we have seasonal fruit. Maybe not in Denmark, but in Mexico we have.
Yeah.
And the seasonal fruit is all the citrics, clementines or oranges and sugar cane.
Yeah.
Um,
We don't have here.
it doesn't exist. Sugar cane and a lot of peanuts, tons of peanuts, and that was the traditional. Now there's more candies and
Yeah,
chocolates and
candy.
things like that, no? But and it used to be made of a clay pot, but of course it's very dangerous to break that with a clay pot. You can get caught, or so now it's made of cardboard
Yeah.
or mache papier. No, ¿cómo es called? Papier mache, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Machete.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and then and that's the idea of the piñata, and to give every kid a little bag with candies and very simple. And then you know that you go to a good posada when you have chocolates and candies in your baggie instead of just peanuts. No, sometimes
Peanuts and
it's
fruit.
like peanuts is like, oh, it's just peanuts. And
Yeah.
like like it's not as fun. But the idea is that they give you something, and then you just have a good time and you eat something. It's sometimes it's just more snacks or sandwiches, very simple.
Yeah.
And then just get together with your neighbors. It's more like the community, sense of community. And then
Yeah.
you are supposed to go to one, if you are lucky, every day until you arrive on Christmas Day.
So it's like so it's like a lucky thing if you got invited to one every day. It's like, okay, I got invited to
Yeah,
one
but I
every
don't.
day, and
Yeah, but I never have been to one every day. If I go to two,
yeah,
that
it'd
that
probably be
that's
hard to
too
go one every
much.
day, and kind of you'll get tired. It's like, oh, I have another one next day.
Yeah, I think when you're an adult, but when you're a kid and it's your neighbors that are doing it, you
Yeah,
just go for la posada and you go for la piñata and you go
yeah,
back to your house. That's something that is not going to take more than 20 minutes.
yeah,
So you just go for that and come back. And that is the fun thing that we do that is different anywhere from many other parts of the world until we arrive for Christmas. And then we don't celebrate. We celebrate as in Denmark, for example,
yeah,
is that we celebrate the 24th of December. December 24th, the evening,
yeah,
is that when we celebrate Christmas. And then during the Christmas day is just the hangover day from that night. I mean, to be
yeah,
honest, but yeah, that's the way. And what we celebrate for Christmas, really, at least in the center of the country, is very different everywhere. In the center of the country, for example, that we get the families together and we eat traditional food. In some families, is turkey. We eat turkey for Christmas. Not we don't have Thanksgiving, so it's
yeah,
for Christmas. My mother hated to cook turkey, so she was
yeah,
like, "No way." So we always ate something different, like ham or, pork was a favorite of my mother. She said that
yeah.
it was a pork leg was easier to do, and then you have a special food for that day. You don't eat that food any other time of the
Yeah.
year, and that is romeritos.
Okay.
It's a herb that
Okay.
is made with mole. Mole is a very
Yeah, I know
traditional
what mole
sauce
is.
from
It's so
Mexico,
good.
combined with chocolate and chili and things like that. And that night is romeritos with this. It is this it's a herb, it's a spice.
Yeah.
And then that is one. The other one is bacalao, that it is a kind of fish.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's the name in English, but in Danish is torsk. It's
Oh,
Norwegian.
yeah. It's
It's a white
I know
fish.
what yeah, I know what Torsk is. I'm just trying to I can't translate it in English right now.
Yeah, I don't know the name in English. I don't like it very much, so that's why I'm not so very big fan. But that is especially made with a lot of spices, with olives and kind of tomato, and that is made only for Christmas and New Year. And
Okay.
it's something that takes a lot of time, that needs a lot of preparation, days in
Mm-hmm.
advance. So it's very complicated. It's something that my grandmothers used to do, and there was
Yeah.
like yeah, and traditional, a lot of food. So very typical if you are going to have many. So one person is going to come with one thing, another one with another one, and then pasta. There's always pasta. I don't know why we eat pasta every day, but that day there's also more pasta.
Yeah.
And my favorite is the apple salad.
Oh, okay.
This apple salad is made, it's the apple with condensed milk, raisins,
Mhm.
and nuts,
Mhm.
and sometimes pineapple. And it's very sweet, but it gets very good with meat that is, like lamb or even the pork. It makes a
Yeah.
very good contrast, and that
Yeah.
is also a very, very Christmas thing to eat. And then in other families, they also eat something called is chipotle. Do you know the chili chipotle?
Yeah, the chili chipotle, yeah.
Yeah, that one, stuffed with goat cheese or
Mhm.
white cheese, and what is called that when capeado? That is with egg that you
Okay.
fried. No,
Okay.
that you have to put it on, like you have to run it in egg and then fry it.
Okay.
And then also it's very typical for this around Mexico City. I know many people don't even know that chipotle thing,
Yeah.
but it's very, very typical for
Maybe it's
only for
specific for that
Christmas and New
region.
Year. Yeah, and very, very Christmassy and New Year,
Yeah.
but more for Christmas, I think. And yeah, and then as a depend of the family, a lot of families is very easygoing and very for kids, and you also make a posada and you also have a piñata more if you
Yeah.
have kids.
Yeah.
um, and some families get Christmas gifts, and other ones make the Secret Santa.
Yeah.
Or my family, we never got that. We never
Yeah.
got Christmas gifts. And my family, sorry, Santa
Yeah.
Claus was not a very big thing.
Yeah.
Now Santa Claus is bigger, but when I was a kid, it was the three wise men.
Yeah.
The three wise men that go to Jesus and give them
Yeah.
all these gifts.
Mhm.
In the center of Mexico, that was the very big thing when I was a kid. And I always prayed to Santa Claus, and I always have written to Santa Claus, please, can you bring me this year? And
Yeah.
every year, I never lose hope. Every year, Santa Claus answered me, you are a client of the three wise men. We have an agreement. You are. I cannot steal clients from the other ones. Please
Yeah.
don't ask me again. And every year I was asking for things. But in the North Mexico, Santa Claus is way. Hey,
Yeah.
Claus is way bigger. In North Mexico, Santa Claus takes the Christmas gift for kids,
Yeah.
and we have Santa Claus everywhere. It's that it doesn't exist. It's just that in my house, at least, there was no Santa coming. And
Yeah.
my parents were not very, very fond of giving Christmas gifts until we were old enough to buy also gifts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, and we were so many. I mean, my
Yeah.
mother is from a big family, so you couldn't give gifts to 40 people,
Everyone.
right? So
Yeah.
it was like that way. But yeah, more or less, that's the way that we celebrate Christmas, but we continue. I mean, then comes New Year, and then it comes the Three Wise Men Day that is on January 6th,
Yeah.
when all the kids get their, the Three Wise Men come with all the gifts and everything. So for us, the season of December, in fact, we call it the December holidays because
Yeah.
they start really early and we continue till January the 6th.
Oh,
But
wow.
more or less, that's what we do. And we decorate, of course, with the nativity set
Mhm.
and the Christmas tree, and the poinsettias
Yeah. The
that
red.
are very Mexican. There's some very Mexican flower that
Yeah.
also it flowers during this time
Mhm.
widely. So you can see them everywhere. And they are called poinsettias because Poinsett was the ambassador of the US in Mexico in the end of the 19th century, beginning of 20th century, 19th century, I think. And he took them to the US, and then that's why they call poinsettias. But
Yeah.
yeah, and these flowers are very, very. I mean, my mother could have this flower in every single decoration of the house. I mean, we always laugh that my mother's generation would be the ones that if they could dress us as poinsettias, they would think it's Christmas, and they would be very happy with that, with
Yeah.
all that card poinsettias everywhere. But
Yeah.
it's because it's very it's from the region. I mean, in Mexico City, and in this time of the year is when they are flowering. So obviously, it's been adopted in Mexico a lot for Christmas decorations.
Yeah. Yeah,
More or
that's
less, that's
all
what I
I
have to say.
know. I know that flower is Christmas for me. I don't see it anywhere else, but I only see it during Christmas when December hits. It's like I see it
Yeah,
everywhere.
because it's exactly because it's when it flowers. This year I couldn't find it in Denmark.
I saw it in
I
Bilka, but they were tiny.
yeah,
But
yeah, they're always tiny.
yeah,
But this time I went to look for them at least around here
yeah.
where I live, and I couldn't find them at all. It
Oh
was like,
wow.
oh, okay, well, all right, well, maybe because it's a weird year. But
Yeah.
that's why we celebrate in Mexico, and then here in Denmark, of course, is very different.
Yeah.
So, but
How do you balance trying to keep the traditions in Mexico, but trying to keep it here in Denmark with your family? Do you have a piñata up for your kids, or how does that work for you to
no,
celebrate?
the piñata. I'm sorry, I don't like so much cold. For the piñata, you have to go out
Yeah.
too much for that when you have the kids. I have done piñatas for them. I mean, it's not that
Yeah.
I have done it for Christmas for them, but I haven't done it with all the friends. No, I do them for the birthdays. But for Christmas, at least what I had started, and this year it could not be possible, was to make a posada here in
Yeah.
home, to invite my friends to sing and to get my nativity set
Yeah.
and singing inside and outside. Uh, Luckily, I have a very big apartment, so we don't, of course, we don't go out to the yard and all that. We do it here and we cut it. We don't do all the procession that we have to do, but I cut it, and then I have a second door in my apartment, so some people go inside there and the other people stay outside. That's the way we have done it, and we
Yeah.
sing. I have a lot of friends that are married with a Dane, but they are Latin Americans. So maybe
Uh-huh.
they don't have the same celebration, but they understand the language.
Yeah.
And when people sing, you just say like, ah, so it's okay. And I have made that, and in fact, a friend of mine took a visit last time, and she was like, "That's so cool! I'm coming from Mexico, and I haven't been in a posada in a decade, and I'm coming to Denmark to one. That is like awesome!" And I was
Yeah.
like, "Okay, yeah." So I tried to do that for my kids so that they could see. But really, our Christmas, when we have to celebrate here with our Danish family, what I do, because it's so different. First, they are much more serious. For example, for us in Mexico, everything is color in Christmas, and all the lights must be in all colors. Very, very
Yeah.
like the US, that is like colors, explosion
Yeah.
of colors. Here is very like, once I put a Christmas tree I was like, oh, this is so cool, and I put the Christmas tree up. I thought that it was going to be so cool, and the answer was like, yep, no, no. Kind of like, wow, that was like, because they are much more, like, so, like, I don't know how to express it, like very calm down, and the lights are all white
Yeah.
or real, like they use it
Oh my gosh,
with
yeah.
my family, with real candle lights hanging from a real Christmas tree.
Yeah. Same
That's
for
so
me.
scary, but that's the way it's done. So suddenly that I have put so much color in their Christmas tree, it was interesting. I have learned now to
Yeah.
put it a little bit more minimalistic. But the way that I do it is like, for example, the apple salad that I love so much.
Yeah.
That I do it every single Christmas that we have had here these 10 years. Well, more, because I've been coming here before even
Yeah.
I was married, and before I was living here in Denmark, because I lived in the UK.
Yeah.
So for 12 years that I've been here coming for Christmas, I've been doing my salad, my apple salad, and now they know. So now it's my ingredients are ready for my Christmas salad in
Yeah.
Christmas. They love it, and it always goes good with the food that my father-in-law prepares. So I have that, and you know that in Denmark they sing around the Christmas
Yeah.
tree all their songs, and very nice. What I do that is I always sing two songs in Spanish.
Okay. That's
So
nice.
that is like, and sometimes we even put Rudolph. The Even in Mexico we don't sing it for as much. I mean, in our houses, but we know the song and we have it, and you can hear it all around the city. So I just sing it in Danish, and later I begin to with my Spanish version of that, or Holy Night as well in Spanish,
Yeah.
or one traditional, very traditional Christmas song, Christmas carol from Mexico. And that's the way that I have incorporated Mexico in our traditions with our Danish family. But for me, it was my Christmas party that I wanted to make it more an institution. Like,
Yeah.
it's a Christmas party, Emma's Christmas party, but unfortunately this year we couldn't make it. But that's the way I celebrate,
Yeah.
more or less.
I kind of try to do the same with Thanksgiving. They're like, oh
Yeah,
yeah, Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving's not celebrated here, so I just call it. I was like, let's have a Friendsgiving, and so I would do it with my friends.
yeah, sure.
Um, Before the strict regulations, I was able to do it this year, but I had to cancel it like last minute because my son got sick. So
No,
I'm like, oh man. So my husband and I and my two kids that are like under 4 had a whole meal to ourselves, which I had a bunch of guests invited over. So I'm like, yeah, this is not as fun. So I can understand where you want to implement a little bit of your culture here. Thanksgiving is not Christmas, but it's like leading up to Christmas for me.
yeah, of
Um,
course.
and it's very important to me, so I can understand why you want the posada happening with your friends. And I bet your friends probably look forward to it, and it's like, oh yeah, it's the posada we're gonna go to at Emma's house. It's the same
Yeah,
for
yeah. Well, we haven't been much in this apartment, so I think we just have made it a couple of times. But but I really wanted to, like, let's make an institution that every
yeah,
year we do this. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, and sometimes it's kind of difficult, to balance between what is your traditions and what is the traditions of the country.
yeah,
At least it's Christmas, and they celebrate Christmas and you celebrate Christmas, so it's a little bit easier. But like you say, Thanksgiving is something that is not even heard here, unless with the expat community or
yeah,
some churches. I've been in Thanksgiving dinners from my friend's church. They
yeah.
organize one Thanksgiving dinner every year, and but it's kind of like different, and or where you feel that it's not the same feeling. Now I have learned to be, because for me it was very difficult to be. I mean, the first year that I was here, and I sang in Spanish while we were dancing around the tree. I still didn't have kids or anything. My niece was very little. I remember her. She was 2 months, and I was carrying her. And then I began to sing in Spanish. I started to cry.
Yeah.
I started to cry. I couldn't continue the song because it just broke my voice. Like, oh, I'm not in my country. I'm not with my family.
Yeah.
This should be the families together. Uh, and at that time they were very nice, but they were still not my family. They were my
Yeah.
boyfriend's family.
Yeah.
Now we're married and have kids. It feels different. But at
Yeah.
that time I completely broke, kind of like, oh, I'm not here. I'm here and not with my family, and everything's so different. But then little by little you begin to incorporate, and now
Yeah.
my kids are part of that tradition as well. So now I do it for them, and it takes another sense now, I think. I don't know
And I
how you
think
feel about
we
that.
adapt to living here in Denmark. So it's sometimes when I go back to the US, I'm like, ah, yeah, it's weird to get back into the like, oh, I'm in US now. So it's like I have to think like I'm in US and not like in Denmark. So it's like because it's everything's celebrated like in two different ways.
Yeah, I
Even
know.
like traditions or even just going to someone's house for lunch. It's not like set. Like in US we just go. Here it's like set table, set everything. It's like
It's like a big thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
I
big thing
know.
versus in the US. It's like, yeah, where are we gonna go to lunch? Like, no problem.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
I
no big
know.
deal.
Yeah, I know.
So
That's yeah, but yeah, and the same way my mother now, she's very I mean, we have put some things in her for Christmas. Now, for example, in her Christmas tree, now she puts the Danish flag
yeah, okay.
around, because they like to put the Danish flags around the Christmas tree
Yeah.
here. This part of the decoration. My mother now in Mexico, she puts the Danish flag around her Christmas tree.
Oh, that's so
because
cool.
yeah, because she has adapted also some things like, oh, what did you do in Denmark and whatever. And it was very cool that the first Christmas that we went there with my son, I was not the first, the second one, yeah,
Yeah.
he was there, that he already could see things. It was that my mother told him like, see, I put the Danish flag as you do there. And it was like my son was like, oh yeah, that's very nice, grandma, thank you. And so it's also kind of a, yeah, funny
Yeah.
that that we celebrate. And you want to see one anecdote that was very, very funny. The first time that our parents, my husband's parents and my parents met, it
Mhm.
was also around Christmas time.
Mhm.
It was at the beginning of December, if I don't remember wrong, but it was already this December time. My mother-in-law arrives with a very Danish kleiner. Do you know these? These are some kind of cookies that are
Yeah.
fried, and they're delicious. They're really caloric, but they taste very well. And she came with a can full of this kleiner because it's very Danish for Christmas, and she could travel with them to
Yeah.
Mexico and to show them something about the Christmas in Denmark. And my mother makes these very traditional buñuelos.
Yeah.
That is also this fry thing, but it's
Yeah.
very big, like this size. But buñuelos is for Christmas, but you also can find them on other times in the year in Mexico. But for Christmas, for many families, it's important as a dessert to have that. So my mother makes a very big Mexican buñuelos, and my mother-in-law makes this very Danish kleiner. Well, in essence, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just with different presentations.
Yeah.
That one is big, but it's the same thing. Flour that you fried,
Yeah.
and the other one is a cookie that is cut in this side. But when they presented, they were like, "Oh, can I try yours? Yeah, can I try yours?" And when they tasted, it was exactly the same thing. It was like, oh, it's the same thing. And what? Oh, it tastes exactly the same. And I was like, yeah, it's the same. But they were very like my very Mexican Christmas dessert, and the other one, my very Danish Christmas dessert, and it was the same thing, just different presentation.
Yeah.
And we just laugh every time that we remember that. And it was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, we have to make the other person to know our culture. And yeah, it was the same. It was
Yeah. And
very
it's
funny.
almost the same, but just different packaging.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's so nice to express culture in food or in a way that reminds people. It's like, oh, Denmark to me it's kleine, and so I want to
Mm.
present that to your family, and then to your mom, it's like, oh, it's that
Buñuelo.
buñuela,
Buñuelo
so
with O.
buñuelo,
Uh-huh.
and it's nearly the same, and it's close enough, but not really in a way. It's just
Yeah, exactly.
presented.
It's just like, yeah, exactly. Because it was so Mexican, so Danish.
Yeah.
And it's
Two
just
parts of
like,
the
see,
world.
yeah, exactly. So different and at the same time. So the same thing. and But yeah, I mean, that's the thing with culture sometimes, you have to find something that they get in common with something.
Yeah, culture and
Yeah.
traditions, because that's
Yeah,
also a
yeah.
Christmas tradition. It's the
Hmm.
only time I eat kleine is during Christmas. I got a
Yeah,
pack
yeah.
yesterday.
Oh, cool. Yeah, well, we were going to Middelfart this weekend to make them, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, because of the corona, we had an outbreak in my kids' school and was like, no, quarantine,
Yeah, we
everybody,
can't go
test.
anywhere.
Okay, we cannot
Yeah.
go anywhere. So it was like, okay, well, whatever.
There's
But
no,
that
maybe they
was
can send you some.
hopefully, yes,
Yeah.
that would be nice because it's the only time of the year that I eat them. But
Same here.
I love them. They are my favorite, those
Yeah.
ones. So, but yeah, that's the way that we celebrate. I don't know if I explained myself
Yeah, no,
clearly or
it's
did
so
I
great.
speak to.
You explained both in Mexico, in Denmark, and how you merge it together, and how you try to kind of keep or not kind of, but keep the tradition of the parties with the 9 days, or you have one day,
Yeah,
but you try to keep it and invite your friends. And that's your way of, keeping the traditions alive in your kids and in your family.
yeah,
And that's so great.
exactly.
And I'm so happy that you're able to share it with me and with the listeners out there that's listening or watching through YouTube. And I just want to say thank you for, taking the time to do this interview and talk to us about how it is in your family in Mexico. I can't say Mexico in general, but in
Yeah, and
Mexico,
I have
your
learned
family.
that, like in my family, we do that
Yeah,
because even during my wedding, friends of mine were like, "I never have seen that before,"
yeah,
and I was like, "But you are from this city."
yeah,
Yeah, but I never have seen that. And I was like, oh, okay. So now I have learned that it's very much, very much from where I am from and the
yeah,
way that my family celebrates. And as I say, I mean, North Mexico, it could be a completely different story. And I know as well that the food, it's completely different. I have heard people that eat tamales for Christmas. I mean, for me, it's completely like, tamales for Christmas? Really? I
yeah.
mean, it's kind of like, okay, but yeah, I mean, the many places celebrate like that, and it's kind of funny also to learn from your own country what are the difference,
Yeah,
cultural
different
differences,
are.
right?
Yeah, same for
So
US. It's so huge that everyone's so different, and US also has so many different cultures living in the US, so everyone takes different cultures, and that's how they celebrate
yeah. And
back in
even just
home.
the weather is going
Yeah,
to tell you what you do or
yeah,
what you
that's
don't
true.
do. I mean, it's just like my brother could go like, well, we could go to the beach during the day for a walk, and someone in Mexico City would be like, it's so cold, it is so cold. No, we
Yeah,
need something, like we also have ponche that is very, very warm
yeah,
drink made of fruits, really nice for the cold. And someone from the coast is going to be like, no, just give me a beer. It's so hot here. I mean, just
yeah.
just
You don't
that,
want
that
the
simple
warm.
fact, just that fact makes a very different perspective of things, right? So,
Yeah.
but yeah, but that's the way we celebrate. Maybe many Mexicans are going to be like, I should explain it better, or that's not.
Everyone's different though, and that's what I want
But
to do is get everyone's their family perspective in their region and in their family. So I
yeah,
wanted to say thank you for sharing your tradition with us, and then for the listeners out there, tune in tomorrow if you want to find out which country will be on my day 9. So thank you all for listening, and yeah, talk to you guys tomorrow.